To start, I'm just showing off my new homemade blue screen green screen. This I improvised from a second-hand blind. In my narrow study, it allows me to record movie and sound while sitting at my computer, and later sub-impose suitable backgrounds. It was almost 20 years ago that I interviewed 85-year-old John Scovell and his wife. In those days, I was gathering eyewitness accounts from my Echoes of the Homefront series of World War II paintings. These we published as art prints, which were supplied with story sheets of the incidents portrayed. Sometimes, as with this interview, I'd make a sound recording using a basic analog cassette recorder. Please note that as some of the information herewith may be sensitive to those who remain and are possibly related to those involved, I have not specified dates or exact locations. However, it should not be difficult to discover these, so please be discreet. Although I haven't produced a painting to go with these particular memories, I have made many pencil sketches to provide visual interest as the narrative unfolds.
Yeah, we know what the planes were and who were piloting.
That's right, yeah. Oh, I see.
But I mean, what is your story then? You worked with some land girls or something? Some land girls?
On the farm. Oh, yes. Well, the first plane that came down was a Spitfire.
Yeah.
The old German was coming in. We heard the Germans coming in, and all the planes went up. The guns opened up at
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden we see a plane coming down towards us.
It was diving.
We just thought it was a German. But when it got down, it had the English mark on it.
Oh, I see. Did it crash or did it?
No, it just come down, landed all right.
Yeah, what, with wheels down?
Yeah, he landed quite all right. He just, peppered with holes and all those. Yeah, he was peppered with holes. But the words the man said was terrible.
Oh, I bet, yeah. He was British, he wasn't Polish, right?
No, he was English enough, yeah. And then the German, I think he circled around and went back home, I think, but never heard him.
But I believe one crashed when you were out in the fields, did it?
That's right, that was a German bomb that way. And they had my dog fight up there. We were out in the field watching them, Then we see this big one coming down, and right down more or less towards us.
Was it in a very steep?
That's right, yeah, quite a steep. You could see the men in there, and they were sitting right back like this, hoping not to hit us.
Yeah.
Hit the ground and we went up.
They were killed, actually.
Yes, we got over the hedge. Before we got under these hedge machines coming down, we got over the hedge, and there was all the remains there. One of them had long hair like that, and the other one was cut right off short.
Really?
Only just the two heads there. There was bits.
Oh, what, the broken up?
Yeah, and they also had pig's head on board.
A pig's
head?
What, a real one?
Yeah, just his real head, and we hooked it back like that, and it was all floppy, so it must have been alive, I suppose.
You reckon they had the whole pig there as well?
I don't know.
Could have been a mascot or something.
Pig about, the head about that big, perhaps. Yeah.
They didn't hit a pig or anything like that? Didn't
No,
hit a pig on the farm?
No, nothing in the field. And he just has it there.
That's strange.
Yeah, it's just a big, head and his ears.
Yeah.
Well, no other parts.
No other parts. Do you think that they possibly had it live, or
I just think it was alive because, like I said, it was all sort of...
It was still...
it was all sort of... But there was remains all over the show,
Yeah, not very pleasant, no.
Not very pleasant reading.
Yeah. These are not really the things I want to dwell on when I'm writing.
No,
but, it's for the record anyway.
Yeah,
it will. You see, what I do, I make notes onto a computer, and then I can knit your stories in with other people of the various events, and it makes for a very interesting read.
Yeah.
But there were two Germans that came down.
Another one, that one just the pilot bowed out, and the plane flew around the wall several times, round and round, and also it hit a tree and it just landed. But it flew around the wall.
Yeah, and that was
about
just
5 minutes, I suppose.
a single seater, wasn't it? That one. That was Messerschmitt 109.
Yeah.
And the pilot was all right over
Yeah,
there?
he was alright. He just come down on his own.
And who captured him, you know?
I don't know. Police, I suppose, you know, because they was soon someone bloody coming down. They was about.
Yeah.
Yeah, the funny thing, if there's a raid on, you could go up there and then stand with them while they're firing the guns, but they won't let you go past. That was the thing. The funny part. The road was all open, but they'd stop you, and you could stand alongside the guns while they was firing. They didn't mind that bit.
Now, this one that sort of crashed really steeply into the ground. I suppose it made a big hole, and the bits were everywhere.
That's right, yeah. They took it all out in the end. But
I met a man a couple of weeks ago, a chap called and as a young boy, he cycled out to one of these crashes.
yeah.
And it must have been that one with the hole in the ground, because he said he found a boot and pulled it, and there was still a leg in it. And he said that really made him a bit sombre that day.
Yeah.
And he cycled home. Even thought.
What did he do with the boot?
I don't know. That's the point. I'll ask him next time I see him. And there was a young girl too. She found a gold watch,
Yeah.
and she took it home, and she said it played on her mind. Now, her mother started said, "You shouldn't have taken that." And it played on her mind. She had nightmares about it. And in the end, she hid it in an outhouse behind an old copper, you know, one of these. And she was still worried about it. And in the end, she took it up the garden and buried it. But it's still, she remembers it to this day. You know, the guilt feeling she had about this. If it probably belonged to us, and gave it to us.
It's still there, isn't it?
Well, I wonder. I'm not sure which cottage it is, but she was going up there with a metal detector. Yeah. But you do hear really strange things.
Yeah.
But I've never heard anything like a pig turning up. That's
That was it's funny that, Could have been just a mascot or something.
I think so, yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen that book, have you? Which is Back in the Sky.
Yeah, I got that one, I think.
Yeah. Well, it mentions the two
Yeah,
planes
one.
came down, 110, which was
Yeah,
two
yeah,
engines.
absolutely.
That would be the one that went straight in. I didn't see the one. There's a Messerschmitt 109. One prisoner of war. That's the one that bailed out. And he just sort of, after he bailed out, it just circled round.
The
and
plane,
round.
it circled around well, quite a few times.
Did it? Has anybody else been over some digging parts up recently, in recent years? Because
I don't think so, no, because I think most of it was apart from, little bits of scrap and that.
yeah, but I mean these things have become collector's items now.
No, now, yes.
They, I think it was the hurricane that went in at Cranmore,
That's right,
and they dug that out about 10 years ago. They dug the engine out.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that went down in Slipper, wasn't it? Blue Slipper,
I believe so. Yeah,
that
I think
was good, I suppose.
it went down really deep too.
Yeah.
Because of that. But I'm not into that so much. It's the stories I'm after.
Yes, yeah,
And there was searchlight
that's right.
batteries around too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a guy on one of the searchlights. I think he was at Tottenham. It's a bit further off. But he told me about the Heinkel that crashed at Darrington.
Yeah.
He's got some stories about that.
Got a piece of paper there, I don't know if you've read that or not.
This was from the Daily Mail. Oh, these were these secret dugouts.
That's the one.
Yeah, I've heard about these. I don't know. Were you involved in that?
Yeah.
Oh, really? You're allowed to talk about it, are you?
Yeah, I suppose, after 50 years, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, well, tell me about it. Well, I mean, I suppose working on the land, you were sort of deemed to know all about the
That's
sort
right,
of,
you were sort of working in, that's right.
And I thought, were you part of the Home Guard or something? And then...
I was in there that first. I was in Home Guard first, but all that happened, I went to Yarmouth Sunday mornings, marching around Yarmouth, saluting different people, back in the hut, cleaned up your rifle, and that was that. Next Sunday, same thing, ran Yarmouth again, You know, it's hopeless.
Yeah.
I said to the sergeant, I said, if the Germans come, what are we supposed to do, salute them? You know, that's all we were doing, just saluting and walking around.
But then how did you get into this? Did they sort of
But
approach
then,
you?
and that's right, there was the bailiff when I was working for him, I don't know, he must come up and, you know, sent the bloke and said, have you got any sort of, I don't know, said reliable or what, you know, I mean, yeah, you had to be single. And then, I went to see this bloke, and, you know, he said sort of all about it. And eventually I said, yeah, all right. So then I joined up with him. But the worst part about it, there was about 12 or 14 on the farm, and I was the only one in this lot. Because it was just a job, you know, to keep it all quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then they wanted to know why I left the ordinary home guard.
And you had to have special training, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. And it was just a job, you know.
And, I mean, were you training alongside other people that you knew? One or
Well,
two
eventually there was 5 of us in our lot. About 6 or 7 lots on the island, I think. There was about 5 in our lot. And we 3 of us went to Colza for a while. And had a bit of training up there.
Yeah. And whereabouts is that? That's...
I don't know, she went on away when we went. But the funny thing about it, we didn't have any badges, nothing on, no markings.
Yeah.
We went over on the boat, and there was an old colonel on the boat. We had the army uniform on, because he'd come up to us and asked us, you know, what we was doing in the army uniform, and no buttons or no badge or nothing. We kept on saying it was secret. Oh, we said, I'm going to report you, and this, that, and other, and we found out that. And he went off in a proper huff.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
Yeah. And anyhow, we drove up in the car, and he walked off the boat, and we just put our hand up to him, and he drove off. I suppose he was doing it, you know, he was right, really.
No, there was a chap called Teddy. Does that ring a bell to you? He was one of the captains of the Home Guard, I think. But he was based now whether his jurisdiction came out was far, I don't know. But the story I heard about him was that he was getting on in years, and he was a bit of a squirrel, you know, he used to collect bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And it came to the point where, on his deathbed, his son, who was quite young at the time, decided to investigate the huge barn shed they had, always kept locked up. And he kicked the door in. This is just before the old man died. And he was amazed to find that this was after the war. It was full of greatcoats, boxes of hand grenades, rifles, Winchester repeating rifles, ammunition, posters, wartime posters, and crates and crates of, round tins, which were full of cigarettes, 50 cigarettes in each one. And of course he and his friends, they grabbed these rifles, and one of them, with some ammunition, took it home and went into the air raid shelter, put a target on, fired. That burst his eardrums, of course, going in a confined space. Of course, that alerted the police. But the interesting thing was that even the captain of this home guard, you know, he was doing something highly illegal. But of course, you were never called upon to put these.
No, we was, you know, very lucky, and I suppose everything perhaps would have been all right, but I don't know.
But I mean, you had to know how to bump people off and things like that.
That's right. Yeah, they told you. Yeah, we had a stem gun,
explosives and that sort of stuff. Didn't you?
Yeah, stem gun and revolver, 2 knives.
And you always had to keep that secret away somewhere.
Truncheon.
Yeah. And where were these dugouts? There were various ones around the island.
Yeah, we had one on the down that was up on the top.
And was it covered over so that it was totally camouflaged?
Yeah, then surf on the top, you know. We only went there, you know, like once a month, so we didn't disturb it too much.
Yeah.
And then we'd sleep there occasionally. One had to stop awake all the time because of the air. It was all still damn tight, you know, there wasn't much air.
So how did you get air in? Were there any vents, or did you have to lift the...
Yeah, we had to lift the cover up a little bit.
And just
let the air sunk it in again. And in the case of emergency, if anybody got the big entrance, we had another tunnel. Our engineer dug this tunnel out. From our hut, or dug it on the top of the down, right down to the bottom of the down.
So there was a tunnel there?
Placed about that square.
And you had to crouch.
And you had to crouch or crawl down through it. And when you got about halfway down this, you know, slope, you could feel the air gradually getting shorter and shorter. You were certainly glad when you hit the bump end. they pushed the cover open at the bottom.
And do you reckon that's still there? That colour?
No, I know it's all fell in, I think, yeah. I think
Ah.
it all collapsed and then.
Because another...
Oh yes, it did, that's right, because then we had another one built. They built that one of concrete. And we never went that one first and last.
But it's probably still
It
there.
just filled up with water. No, they blew that up in the end.
No, did they?
It just filled up with water and
I know
at
that,
the end of that.
you know Robin Hill, where that is, near
Yeah.
Allerton there, they were excavating bits and pieces there and they came across one of these secret bunkers and it still had the weapons in there. A bit rusty, but
No,
it's still there.
I mean, it's
yeah.
still in there.
And
Oh,
that
yeah.
was about 15 years ago, when they were modifying the park.
Well, we had to keep our bring them back and forward on.
Yeah.
But with that lot, didn't know how much ammunition you wanted, they'd give it to you, you know. Like with the home guard, we used to go perhaps down to Newtown on a Sunday morning, we had about 6 rounds. We fired 6 rounds and that was your lot.
Yeah, and you always had to give the empty
That's
cases
right,
back, didn't you?
yes.
They always counted those.
But with this lot, you know, you told off what you wanted, and go back and say, can I have a few more, you know, and now have another go, you know.
But you were practicing at Newtown, were you? Do you think? Or,
No, that's right. But with a revolver, it's different than firing with a rifle, you know. With a rifle, you want to put with a revolver, you've got to bring it up or bring it down. And
There's a big kick to a rifle, isn't
yeah.
there? Yeah, I've been to the Newtown. I used to be in the ATC. I went to the Newtown Rifle Range, but I was always amazed at that kick that was on that 303.
Yeah.
It's really powerful. I suppose a handgun was a bit pretty fierce.
Yes, not too back, it sort of jerks hand back, but then it jerks off the target.
Yeah.
Got to grip it sort of.
And
rigidly
you had
tight.
to know how to use knives and stuff like that, didn't you? I
Oh
suppose?
yeah, and I had 2 knives.
Just as well.
Long as I get points on
Just as well we weren't invaded. Eh?
it. Yeah. We also had one for cutting car tires.
Oh yeah. Was that special?
That was, yes, it was, you put a finger through the ring, and it was a nice sort of half moon. You know, you could put it on a car tire and
slice
rip that through easy.
Yeah. I think I've seen those around. I always wonder what they were for. Yeah, fascinating stuff. And of course you were all disbanded. I suppose you became disbanded, did you, when the threat of invasion finished, or was it when the war finished?
No, yes, I wasn't in war till the finish of it, yeah.
We were told about invasion, weren't we? That it was coming over here, take the island from the holiday place. And one night, I heard one when we heard all the footsteps coming down.
Oh, you're coming in, yeah.
And our gate opened, and they started coming around the garden. Because we were frightened, we thought it was Germans.
Yeah.
And we heard them talking in some foreign.
They do, yeah.
And so we came down to live and you had your biscuit.
I looked out the window. One said, we're seeking water, you know.
They were Irish or something.
No, yeah, French Canadian.
Oh, French Canadian.
Yeah, seeking water.
Tap.
I put 6 in me revolver.
You were ready for it.
From many. Went in, got a jug of water. By the time I got to open the door, the captain or whatever, they called them off. And then they more men marching down the road.
But you, Mr. Scovell, did you know anything about this? You knew he was in this mysterious...
Yeah, but not much, I didn't really. I knew part of it.
I didn't know exactly what he was doing, but I knew he was away with her, and also he was working in the day and going out at night doing what's in it. So that I know one day I went out, left with him, came home for dinner, and he didn't go back to work in the afternoon, and when the boss came to see me, he was put right in front of the table, fast asleep, because he had no time to sleep, he'd been working all day and out at night.
So when you're out in the fields with the watching all this happening above, I mean, were you armed at that stage as well?
No
shotguns or anything?
not like that, no. And that was all, very, very secret, but, we survived.
And she went to go up all the way and we stopped talking after the guns were just fine.
If one boat got killed up there, they had a attack gun both sides of the road. They fired one, and just come at the end of the barn, landed on the other side of the road.
And then went off?
Just yeah, and you just come in and swap straight then.
They probably didn't have enough charge
No.
to knock it up.
Then they put wooden ones up there. When it was, more or less finished. Well, the war wasn't finished, but near enough finished. Then the German bloke on the radio, only about the next day, said about these wooden guns.
Oh, wooden guns?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. And,
Yeah,
and
mine was
like Lord Haw Haw
had
was
got
like-
that's right. Had
Yeah.
got the news to quick. Yeah.
You know, he used to live in Wootton. Yeah. This was just before the war. They used to strut around, apparently. He was quite arrogant. Yeah. Anyway, he got his comeuppance, didn't he? I've heard stories about a place in Rye, next to which was billeted the Black Watch. But the lady that owned this house, she said that on the house on the other side, she would hear sound of the radio at night and German language being spoken. German language actually being spoken, not on the radio.
Yeah.
And she got in touch with the authorities, and they told her she was imagining it and to forget about it. But she persisted,
Yeah.
and eventually she said she heard a big scuffle out there, and she went down and opened the door, and a British soldier was there, and told her to go back indoors. And she did, and the next day this place was totally empty and emptied up. Now that's a bit of a mystery as well, and that's something I want to pursue and find out about that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think I just do paintings of aeroplanes crashing, but no, I'm interested in all the stuff as well.
Yeah.
But I'm finding that with aeroplanes, people like to buy the actual prints that I do, because there are a lot of aeroplane fanatics in the country,
Yeah.
and especially wartime ones. So in a way, I think it will be pictures of aeroplanes, but the other stories will be laced in
Yeah, it's
as part of the background.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks very much, Rio.
Oh yeah, we didn't. What would have happened if they had invaded Ireland? I don't know.
Well, I had heard that one of these reconnaissance pilots, they used to come over with these high-powered cameras, and I've heard this from somebody who heard it from somebody who heard it from him. But apparently he got the films developed and took them straight into the general of the who was plotting the possibility of invasion, and he took the Isle of Wight stuff in, and this guy looked at it all and he put a line like that through the Isle of Wight because the airfields here were not adequate to handle the amount of to and fro that would be required. So we may not have been invaded at all.
No,
because we didn't know that. did we?
No, that's right. No.
Another story is that the Luftwaffe pilots were told to avoid a certain hotel at Totland because the high-ups, the high-rankers prior to the war had stayed in that area and they thought it would make a nice billet food. But I don't know, this
No,
could
but
be,
could be.
Now what I'll be writing this briefly tomorrow. But it'll be on my computer that I can call in possibly in 5 years' time, I don't know. But it'll be, I'm gathering bits and pieces about these two crashes, these two German crashes anyway. But the other interesting one, of course, is this the Spitfire. See if we can find out in this book. So I suppose that means uninjured. Yeah.
48,
Yeah, well, that would be the Battle of Britain. Really. Yeah, that's when most of these sort of, you see these dots here on this map. That's the British planes that crashed, and those are the German ones. Well, most of those came down just in those few months, through July, August, September 1940. I mean, there were others later on in the war, but not in such abundance. They were in that period. Yeah, really hectic times. I mean, I was born in 1939, so I don't remember too much about it. But I was, a baby in East Cambs. And of course we got bad, we were bombed out and had to move to Rye. But I've got a few hazy memories, Nothing like you have yourself.
Took me to this big common, and they had a big bonfire, and there was a guy, there's a cave in it, and a little village, and burned them all up.
Yeah. I wonder who they'll be making guys of now. Probably It's a man that was drunk last week and killed the Lady Diana.
Yeah, no, wasn't it?
It was almost inevitable, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Anyway, I suppose that's brief, that's of great interest. But this particular stuff you told me today, will be, as I say, will be laced in with other stories, but I don't know when I should be getting around to that one. The main thing is, through the summer, we've been so busy doing various shows, like the Garlic Festival and the Steam Valley and stuff like that, that I've not had time to either talk to people, to sit and talk to them anyway, or to even do any paintings, because I've been too busy producing things. You mount them up by hand and pack stuff like that. But that all finished this Sunday. We did the Country Life Fair, I think it was, along by Shelby. Well, that came to an end, actually, and now we're just breathing a sigh of relief, and I can get around and talk to people like so. I saw a man yesterday who took me to a spot where a Yonkers 88 made a good landing at Yaverland, near Sandown. There's a good story there. That's the next one I'm going to paint. And this morning I went through to Ventnor, and there's some guys there that have got stories about the various raids on the pylons, on the town itself. So, I've got plenty of work to do.
Now, how about that Lord Haw Haw connection? Apparently, William Joyce, who was to become the notorious radio propaganda voice of the Nazis during World War II, visited the Isle of Wight. Prior to the beginning of the war, as a known fascist sympathiser, having been part of the Mosley Black Shirt organisation, he was fleeing Britain en route for Ireland to avoid internment. It is written that whilst at Ryde he experienced a strong spiritual visitation which kept him awake and raving all night. It is believed that due to this strange event, Joyce, with his wife Margaret, changed their minds about escaping to Ireland, and instead went to Berlin just 5 days before the declaration of war. William Joyce was convicted of high treason and executed on January the 3rd, 1946, making him the last person to be executed for treason in the United Kingdom.